Hey folks, before we get started on this video, I just wanted to let you guys know that it's been a few weeks since our last video. It's not that we haven't been working on videos. We've taken a lot of video, but the editing side of it, we've kind of slowed down a little bit. We've had beautiful weather, and to be frankly honest, we've just been so busy around the homestead. That said, we've got a lot of content coming in the next week or two, so stay tuned. And until then, enjoy the second part of our garden. Hey folks, well, today's a new day. We're back out here. We're going to finish putting the garden wrap on the along the fence line. Get that finished up. Okay, so now we've got the rest of the garden sheets on the ground. You can see behind me, they run the entire length of the fence. Now it's time to get the fence and try and get that installed. Okay, so we have the fence up. And it runs all the way down the front and over on the back side as well. It was a really windy day today. I couldn't keep the camera in the tripod still for any length of time. So I just went ahead and got the fence installed. It's not perfect. It's a little wobbly. I actually think what I'm going to do is end up putting more stakes in the ground. I've got some pretty wide spans here, but for now, and at least for what we're trying to accomplish here, I think we're looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way that it came out. One of the things that I am going to do is we've got some poultry netting, and these squares here are pretty big. So what I'm going to do is run poultry netting along the entire length of the fence, just to kind of get those holes a little covered up a little bit more. Okay folks, now that we have the fence up and we've got all of the wiring up, so now what we got to do is put some gates on it. The reason we're doing this mainly right now is for the dogs. The dogs get into the garden area and they just rip up all of our rows, and it's really frustrating. So we're going to put some gates on, and we went to the store and we got some gates, and there they are. So we're going to get those installed today. And hopefully help keep the dogs out of here so we can finish the garden up. Jen doesn't know that I'm doing all of this, by the way. She's in Chicago right now, and so this is going to be a big surprise for her. That's why I'm trying to get this done before she gets back. So yesterday was a terrible day. It rained all day, so we didn't do any work yesterday. So we've got a lot of catch up to do. So let's get started. Okay, so we got the gate on. Unfortunately, I didn't take into consideration that I do plan on putting some gravel down here in the pathway here. So I suspect what I'm gonna have to do is lift this, but instead of doing it now, I'm gonna wait until I actually get gravel here to see how much I'm gonna have to lift it up. I might be able to just scrape, you know, the current ground too. I don't know yet, but anyways, we're gonna go. We've got 2 more gates that we've got to put up on the other side. That side over there has a 12-foot opening, and this side here is an 8-foot opening. So I did that so that if I had to get anything really big in here, I could just, you know, use the tractor or whatnot. But so we're gonna go put those in. And when I put those in, now there's a big dip there, so I'm gonna actually put these in quite a bit higher than the ground, because that is definitely getting filled in with gravel, and I have a really good idea of how much gravel, so we're going to be able to put those in, I think, much better than this one. All right, well, let's go do that. Okay, so I got the first gate on, and it really performs well. Does exactly what we want it to do, opens and closes. Quite a bit of room, since we will be putting some gravel here. There's a big dip right where I'm at, so I plan to have, you know, bring gravel and level all of this off pretty good. So, okay, now that we got that one, all we gotta do is get the second one. Perfect. Okay. Boys, let's Uncle Waco. Come on. Little do the boys know that this was all put up to keep them out of our garden. So now that we have the gates up and the garden area is relatively secure, the next step that we need to do is we're going to add some gravel along these fence lines. Now, I'm not going to add a lot of gravel because, frankly, honest, I just don't have it. But I am a little concerned about the strong winds that we have. And as you can see, you know, in this area here, that paper is starting to come up. So I want to throw something down on these strips to help keep some weight on it until I can get a load of gravel. Okay, let's fire up the tractor. All right, folks. Well, we got all the gravel down that we could. I would have liked to have got a little bit more, but I'm pretty happy with what we've got. You know, again, the only reason we put the little bit that we did is just to help hold those mats down. So, all right. Well, on to the next project. So it is the next day, and the wind was really bad yesterday, so I really wasn't able to get a lot of video and certainly no dialogue. So the wind's died down a little bit today, although it is still blowing a bit. You can kind of see the flag moving up there. So I wanted to give you guys an update on what I did with the garden yesterday. So we've got these 3 rows here, and basically what we've done is, you know, we had added all of that dirt, all that loam from that pile, and after a couple of days, then what I did is I put a layer of mulch hay that was sitting around the cabin, that stuff over there. And so I put a nice layer on top of the mound of loam, and then I covered that with a couple inches of more loam. Now the plan is I'm going to let this sit for a couple of weeks, and then after a few weeks, before we start actually planting in here, I'm going to add more loam. Then we're going to add some peat moss and some fertilizer and other stuff. So I think these rows here are about as done as they can be for now. I'm really confident in what we've done, but only time will tell. So in addition to these 3 rows here, I've also made 1 row using the Ruth Stout method. Basically what that is only hay. It's old, moldy hay, and over time and after many layers, you can basically grow it. And our plan is to grow our potatoes in here. Now this is just the first layer. In about a week from now, I'm going to add another layer, and I'll continue adding that until it's time ready for us to grow, which will probably be, I think, is the end of May or something of that sort, maybe beginning of June. I don't know. That's kind of Jen's wheelhouse. We'll leave that up to her. But that said, you know, we've got the start of it. Now I do plan on putting a few more rows. I just don't know how or where we're going to do that. I'm not sure. You know, I think I've gone about as far as I want to go without Jen being here, because at some point, I mean, this is for her, it's for us, but this was kind of her dream to have a nice garden, and you know, I think this is the start to a nice garden for her. So it was a lot of work. I'm very happy with the way it came out, and I'm really looking forward to doing some more. Now that said, what's next? So next for me is to knock down these 3 trees. These 3 trees have always been on the chopping block, and it is time for them to go. So why are we knocking these 3 trees down? As we continue to grow and expand our homestead, things like having to knock these trees down is just part of that process. With this being our garden area, we do want it completely fully exposed to the sun, and the only way to do that is to knock them down. So the goal here is to keep the 2 trunks on the right hand side, and the reason being is that's the dry side, and we're going to put our composting bin there. Now we're going to be building a 2-bin pallet composting system in that spot, and we wanted to use the trunks as kind of the end posts for that system. All right, let's get to cutting. These trees are not going to go to waste. We're actually going to chip everything up, and these will become the first layer of our walking paths through the garden. It is an absolutely gorgeous morning, and this is one of those mornings that make me so happy that we made the decision to move out here and live this lifestyle. Boy, this is just something else. It's beautiful. Not a cloud in the sky, the sun is up. Oh, love it. All right, so we cleared out all the brush. The 2 trees that we knocked down, I went ahead and chipped all of that, and that's over in that pile there now. We are going to be using that as the footpaths in the garden here. Now there's not a lot of there's not a lot chipped, but I do have another pile over there that we're going to get chipped as well. So we do have quite a bit of material that we can chip up for our paths. So that's what we're going to be doing. In the meantime, I just wanted to kind of show you the start of our composting bins. We did go with the pallets, and I used the 2 stumps, one there and then one on the other side over here, as kind of the sides to hold it up. The pallets I've got are old beat up pallets, and we'll want to replace those at some point. But for right now, it's a good start. I did throw a little bit of stuff in there just to kind of get things started for us. So today we are working on hay bales. We're starting to move them out away from the cabin, and we're going to line the perimeter here of the garden with them. And the reason we're doing that is so that we have a good supply of hay for the next couple of years. The Ruth Stout method of gardening, which requires mulch / hay, is going to need a lot of it. And so we have a lot of them. Hey folks, so I've got a few things going on today in the garden. I've made some garden beds for us using the old hay bale that we have. And here's what I've done. So all we've done is taken these old hay bales and we've laid them down right next to each other, side by side. I've made 3 beds here, this one with 4 bales, that one with 5 bales, and then this one, a larger bed with 6 bales. Now the plan that I have here is to just simply put loam on it. We're going to put loam on all 3 of these beds, and I also have another bed on the other side of the garden. Now the idea with these beds is simple. We're going to grow in them, and then probably in about a year or 2 we'll actually build raised beds around them. And what I mean by that is just basically cedar. So yeah, we're doing this. We have got a big garden. We started out with these little bins and we have grown to this. Not too shabby. So the first bed that we're going to be working on is this one here. This one is a 6. We've got 6 bales lined up next to each other, and then we have 3 bales on the end. So this one's a little bit bigger. Not really sure what we're gonna plant in any of these, but at least we have the garden beds now. So basically what I'm gonna do is start shoveling that loam onto those bales. So the real nice thing about this is that we already had the hay. I've seen some videos, and you know, depending on who you ask, some say use straw, some people say hay. We're using very well seasoned mulch hay. I bought this hay in the late summer, early fall. There was a video that you can go back and watch when we got all this hay, and we used this to wrap the cabin with. And so it's been outside all winter long, and it's nice and broken down already, and it's really, really good stuff for what we're going to be using it for. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Okay, bed number 2 is complete. I really, really like how these come out. They're so simple to make, and I'm really excited about getting some veggies in there to see how they perform. We'll see. All right, we're on to the little one. I know what you're thinking. I have a tractor. why don't I just use the tractor? Well, the tractor has a flat tire and Jen comes home in 2 days. I want to get this garden done before she gets home. So rather than try to fix the tire, I'm gonna do this and then we'll fix the tire later. All right, so number 3 is all done. It's a smaller one. We can certainly plant a few things in here. It is ready to go. Last but certainly not least is going to be this guy here. All right, let's do it. All right, folks, that about does it. This garden started out with these guys here, and over the course of the last 4 days, we have built quite a bit. So we've got these 3 rows ready for planting. We just finished this one over here, so that's a nice garden bed there. We've got 2 Ruth Stout rows, which will actually be expanding those. We've got all of the bins that are all ready. We do have 1 more that I've got to get ready there. And then I've got a couple of small ones that we found as well. So we're going to make those beds up. And then the ones that we've just finished, we have these 3 here. So overall, I am very happy with what we've got going on here to start for this first year. We knew going into this year we weren't going to have a very successful gardening season, but with Jen being gone, she expects to come home to that. She has no idea what I've done. So I'm going to wrap this video up. Jen's gonna be home in a couple of days. We're gonna get we'll get a reaction, and then yeah. So I'm pretty excited. I put a lot of effort, a lot of work into this. You know, we had to move all of the hay bales from around the cabin, put up the fence. There are some other things we're gonna do. For instance, we are gonna put electric fence on this. I started putting it up here, up on the back side, but I stopped because I didn't have the fence in. Now that the fence is in, now that I kind of know where the plot is for the garden, we're going to finish putting the electric fence in now too. So and then after that, we've got to put in some more Ruth Stout beds, and the big project for this summer is to put in our hoop house. So we have the structure for it, and we kind of have an idea of where we want to put it, which is going to be over in this area here. But we'll have to see and wait and see what we decide to do with that. So hey folks, so thanks for checking out this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, check out that merchandise down in the description. We'll see you guys on the next video.